Now, the Joint Committees of the National Assembly on Finance and Appropriation is recommending an upward review of the oil benchmark price from $74 per barrel to $76.05 a barrel in the 2014 budget. Now, this is about over $2 higher than the amount stipulated in the medium-term economic framework and the fiscal strategy paper for 2014 to 2016. Now, analysts say this new oil benchmark price could spark another round of wrangling between the National Assembly and the presidency. Bismarck Rewane, Chief Executive Officer of Financial Derivatives, joins me in the studio now to put this in perspective for us. Thank you so much, Bismarck, for, as usual, taking the time out to join us. Now we are here again at budget drama, as some people now call it. Now we have this report from the Joint Committees on Finance and Appropriation, but they are recommending a budget new oil benchmark $76.05 from $74 in the MTEF and the fiscal strategy paper. How do you see this playing out? Because we know that we've been here before, and we know how protracted that argument was.
Yeah, the difference last time was about almost 7% between what was proposed and what was being recommended. This time the difference is only 3%. $2.50 as a percentage of $74. So the areas of difference are not that much. However, the critical thing is that the president is talking about reducing the expectations on production from 2.5 million barrels to about 2.35 million barrels. The production shortfall is at almost 20%, while the revenue headroom is only about 3%. So that itself, the first thing is to deal with the reality check. The reality check is that Nigeria is going to confront a major revenue issue in 2014, and also is going to confront an expenditure issue because of the election cycle. So it's a
legitimate argument on the part of the lawmakers if they decide that, look, this is our reality. We're having less cash coming in to the federal government coffers.
No, I think what the president is doing is better. The president is talking about $74 a barrel.
$74, yes.
And these guys are going to 76.5. And I'm saying that it's better to be aligned at 74.
Okay.
Because even the production is going to be much lower than even the president is expecting. This president is talking about 2.35 million barrels of oil. Today we are doing 1.9. So there's a $400,000 barrel gap per day. And that comes to almost 20 to 25% of total production. So even if you have a revenue bump, right, you will have a major production cutback, which will affect your revenue, even if you have a price gain.
Okay, but as an economist, what would you recommend for them? 74? Would you go with 74? Would you look for some middle ground? Maybe
as an economist, I would go for 70.
70.
Yeah, but the president is nearer 70 than they are 76.5.
Okay. Well, let's talk, because tomorrow President Jonathan, he will present the 2014 budget. We understand it's a 4.49 trillion to the National Assembly. That's about 492 billion lower than the 2013 budget. But what I find interesting is the fact that this time we're going to be spending much more on recurrent expenditure.
Absolutely.
On recurrent expenditure, 26% as against the 74% of 26% for capital expenditure, 74% for recurrent. So we're still running an expensive government. But when this government came over, took office, they did tell us that in the next 4 years,
40.
yes, we will see a gradual
but
reduction.
that's the reality. The reality is three things are going to drive that. One, the interest expense on the debt burden. Two, the salaries and expenditure. And three, the spending on security. And more than anything else, the subsidy issue still begins to bite us. So that's the reality. Election cycle spending, the interest expense on borrowed money, and more than anything else, security spending because of what's happening in the Niger Delta and the northeast of Nigeria.
Okay, so because I'm just wondering, because they did say that the federal government, that they have addressed some of the leakages that we continue to see in the federal government. Many ghost workers were discovered and perhaps sent out of service. We saw the biometric thing that they brought in to ensure that those who are working, those who are actually collecting their salaries. But then, of course, we know that has been a controversial subject. But for you, I mean, how workable is this? We're looking to expand more, to spend more on infrastructure. We cannot be doing 26% for a capital and 74% for, even if that's our reality.
It is disturbing that at the time when we should be having higher level of capital formation, that we're actually spending more on the cost of governance. The cost of governance has become an issue which we have to deal with. And unfortunately, dealing with governance issues is politically inexpedient. Okay. So in this election cycle, let us accept the reality that the federal government will have to accommodate and meet so many people's requirements. Some of them not genuinely disposable, but that is the reality of the situation. Having said that, the ratio of 24 to 76 is quite significantly higher than that which is known anywhere else in the world. And that is just the top parameters. When you now look at the excess crude account that is going to be depleted and raided, when you now look at the external reserves that are going to be challenged, you begin to think that the economic fundamentals of Nigeria could be threatened in the year 2014. That's the price you pay.
Now, talking about the external reserves, the report sent to the National Assembly also says that why must we have forex reserves up to $45 billion when we can, that's above the 3 months imports benchmark.
No, the 3 months is the minimum.
So we might be looking at the National Assembly telling the presidency that, look, let's spend more. Let's keep little in our coffers.
That's the attitude of a drunken sailor. The reality is that the comfort zone for checking countries is 6 months of...
Not 3 months.
No, not 3 months, 6 months. And if you take our payments and our import bill put together, we actually had 5 months.
Not 11 months.
No, 11 months are imports alone, those tradables. Our non-tradables come to about 25% of the total bill. When you take that into consideration, everything put together, you have that situation where you have about 5 or 6 months. The fundamentals are strong. But if you back out hot money, that is capital flows that came from outside, of another maybe 20 billion, you are left with $25 billion. $25 billion doesn't cover that much for a country with 150, 160 million people and an import bill that high. So I don't think we should, the euphoria of external reserves of $45 billion should make us make decisions that are totally inconsistent with our destiny.
Okay.